Have you ever felt that pang of uncertainty climbing a flight of stairs? Or perhaps an extra effort to get up from your favorite armchair? For many of us over 50, 60, or 70, these small daily challenges can be the first signs of a silent but significant process happening in our bodies. Age-related muscle mass loss, a phenomenon scientists call sarcopenia. This isn't a matter of vanity, but of independence, of quality of life. Strong legs are the foundation for an active and safe life. They allow us to walk in the park, play with grandchildren, do our own shopping, and most importantly, drastically reduce the risk of falls, which can have devastating consequences. Physical exercise, especially strength training, is undoubtedly the main pillar for combating this process. But what many don't know is that there's an equally crucial nutritional foundation. Your muscles are like a complex construction, and exercise is the workers. However, without the right bricks, cement, and tools, these workers cannot do their job. These essential tools are vitamins. If you identify with this concern or want to build a solid foundation for active and healthy aging, stay with me. Today, we're going to reveal the secret to strong legs in old age. 7 essential vitamins revealed. And if you value science-based health information, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. That way, you won't miss any content that can transform your quality of life. The truth is, the strength of your legs may depend much more on what's on your plate than you imagine. Let us start with the vitamin that acts as a true maestro for the health of your bones and muscles. When we think of strong bones, the first thing that comes to mind is calcium. But calcium needs a manager to ensure it's absorbed by our bodies and used correctly. This manager is vitamin D. Known as the sunshine vitamin, its role goes far beyond just strengthening the skeleton that supports our muscles. Recent and robust scientific studies have revealed a direct and profound connection between vitamin D and muscle function. Our own muscle cells have specific receptors for vitamin D. When the vitamin binds to these receptors, it triggers a series of cellular processes that improve muscle contraction, increase protein synthesis, which is the process of building new muscle fibers, and optimize strength. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society showed that older adults with lower levels of vitamin D in their blood had significantly poorer muscle function and a 78% higher risk of falls compared to those with adequate levels. The mechanism is clear. Without enough vitamin D, the body not only absorbs less calcium, weakening bones, but the muscles themselves lose power and responsiveness. The safe implementation to obtain this vitamin begins with conscious and moderate sun exposure, about 15 to 20 minutes a day, outside of peak hours, exposing arms and legs. Food sources include fatty fish like salmon and sardines, egg yolks, and fortified foods, such as milk and cereals. However, for the population over 50, the skin's ability to produce vitamin D from the sun decreases, and supplementation often becomes necessary. But beware, the dose should always be guided by a healthcare professional after blood tests. Having strong bones and muscles is the foundation, but these structures need to be protected from the natural wear and tear of aging and daily stress. What is the nutrient that acts as a protective shield for our muscle cells? While vitamin D builds the structure, vitamin C acts as the maintenance and protection engineer. Popularly associated with preventing colds, its role in muscle health is fundamental and often underestimated. Vitamin C's main mechanism of action for strong legs lies in 2 of its primary functions: its antioxidant power and its indispensable role in collagen synthesis. Our daily activities, and especially exercise, generate oxidative stress, a process that releases free radicals that can damage muscle cells, leading to inflammation and slower recovery. Vitamin C is one of the most potent water-soluble antioxidants in our body, neutralizing these free radicals directly in the watery environment of the muscle cell, protecting it from damage and aiding in its recovery. Even more important is its role in collagen production. Think of collagen as our body's superglue. It's the main protein that forms our connective tissues, including tendons, which connect muscles to bones, and ligaments, which connect bones to each other. Strong legs don't just depend on large muscles, but also on robust and resilient tendons and ligaments to ensure stability, and efficiently transfer the force generated by the muscles. Without enough vitamin C, collagen production is compromised, making these tissues more fragile and susceptible to injury. Studies indicate that adequate vitamin C intake is associated with greater muscle mass and better physical function in older adults. The good news is that it's relatively easy to obtain this vitamin through diet. Citrus fruits like oranges and lemons, kiwi, strawberries, and vegetables like bell peppers, broccoli, and kale are very rich sources. Prioritizing the consumption of these fresh foods ensures not only vitamin C, but also a range of other beneficial phytonutrients. Having protected the structures and ensured their integrity with collagen, we now need to provide the energy necessary for everything to work. And for that, we enter the world of a vitamin complex that acts as the true power plant of our cells. If vitamins D and C are the building and protection materials, the B complex, especially vitamins B12 and B6, are the electricians and energy engineers of our body. They don't work directly on building muscle fiber, but without them, the whole system would collapse due to lack of energy and communication. Vitamin B12 is absolutely vital for two functions that directly impact leg strength: red blood cell production and nervous system health. Red blood cells are responsible for transporting oxygen to the muscles. Well-oxygenated muscles have more endurance, take longer to fatigue, and recover better. Furthermore, B12 is crucial for maintaining the myelin sheath, a protective layer that surrounds our nerves. Think of it as the insulation on an electrical wire. When this sheath is healthy, nerve impulses travel from the brain to the leg muscles quickly and efficiently. A B12 deficiency can lead to nerve damage, resulting in weakness, tingling, and balance problems, symptoms that directly compromise safety and strength when walking. Vitamin B6, on the other hand, is a protagonist in protein metabolism. When you consume protein, B6 helps break down amino acids and use them to build and repair muscle tissue. Without enough B6, much of the protein you ingest may not be used to strengthen your muscles. It also participates in the production of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that enable communication between the brain and muscles. Scientific evidence clearly links deficiencies, especially of B12, with neurological and muscular symptoms in older adults. B12 sources are predominantly animal-based, such as meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, making supplementation an important consideration for vegetarians, vegans, and even many older adults with reduced absorption. B6 is found in foods like chickpeas, bananas, salmon, and chicken. We've already covered bone support, cellular protection, and energy production. But there's another guardian, a silent protector that integrates into the membranes of our muscle cells to defend them from the inside out. Just as vitamin C protects the watery environment of the cell, vitamin E is the great guardian of the fatty parts, especially cell membranes. It is a fat-soluble antioxidant, meaning it dissolves in fat and can directly integrate into the membrane that surrounds each of our muscle cells. This strategic position is what makes it so crucial. During exercise and even at rest, our cells produce free radicals that attack the fats in cell membranes in a process called lipid peroxidation. This attack compromises the cell's integrity, as if creating small holes in its wall, leading to damage, inflammation, and slower recovery. Vitamin E positions itself as a sentinel on this membrane, sacrificing itself to neutralize free radicals before they can cause havoc. This protective mechanism is fundamental for long-term muscle health, helping to reduce post-exercise muscle soreness and mitigate the cumulative damage of aging. Research, such as studies published in the journal Free Radical Biology and Medicine, suggests that maintaining adequate vitamin E levels can help preserve muscle mass and function in older people, precisely by protecting cells from chronic oxidative stress. We are halfway through our guide on the secret to strong legs in old age. 7 essential vitamins revealed. If this detailed exploration of how each nutrient works is being helpful to you, please give it a like. Your simple gesture helps YouTube understand the relevance of this content and show it to more people who need this information. To find vitamin E, look for sources of healthy fats. Almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, spinach, and avocado are excellent options. Protecting the cell is vital, but for muscles to contract and bones to remain dense, a specific mineral needs to be managed with precision. And there is a vitamin that acts as the traffic controller for this mineral, ensuring it goes to the right place. We've arrived at a vitamin that for a long time was known only for its role in blood clotting, but which today is recognized as a key player in bone health and consequently in muscle support. Vitamin K. Specifically, its K2 form has a fascinating and crucial role. Our body needs calcium for strong bones, but there's a problem known as the calcium paradox. Often, the calcium we consume, instead of depositing in the bones, ends up accumulating in soft tissues, such as arteries, leading to calcification and increasing the risk of cardiovascular problems. This is where vitamin K2 comes in as a heroine. It activates two essential proteins, osteocalcin and matrix Gla protein, MGP. Osteocalcin, once activated by K2, acts like glue that pulls calcium from the bloodstream and fixes it in the bone matrix, strengthening the skeleton. At the same time, activated MGP acts as a traffic guard in the arteries, preventing calcium from depositing there. The result is a double benefit: stronger bones and cleaner arteries. And what does this have to do with strong legs? Everything! Strong muscles need a strong skeleton to anchor them. Dense, fracture-resistant bones are the foundation upon which muscular strength is built and applied. Large-scale epidemiological studies, such as the Rotterdam study, have observed that higher vitamin K2 intake was associated with a lower risk of hip fractures and reduced arterial calcification. Vitamin K1 is found mainly in dark, leafy green vegetables, such as kale and spinach. K2, which is more potent for bone health, is produced by bacteria and found in fermented foods, such as natto, a Japanese fermented soybean dish, hard cheeses, egg yolks, and butter from pasture-raised animals. So far, we've talked about vitamins that build, protect, and direct minerals. But a piece is missing from the energy puzzle: the initial spark that converts what we eat into the fuel our muscles actually use. Let's now talk about vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. If the B complex is the body's energy plant, thiamine is the spark that initiates the entire process. Its function is absolutely central to energy metabolism. Every cell in our body, especially muscle cells that demand a lot of energy, depends on thiamine to convert the carbohydrates we ingest into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the molecule that is the universal currency of cellular energy. Without enough thiamine, this energy production line becomes extremely inefficient. The direct result for leg muscles is early fatigue, weakness, and a feeling of heaviness. Even a mild deficiency can compromise physical performance and endurance. In addition to its role in energy production, thiamine is also important for nerve function. It participates in the transmission of nerve impulses that control muscle contraction and relaxation. History shows us the critical importance of this vitamin. Severe thiamine deficiency causes a disease called beriberi, whose classic symptoms include extreme muscle weakness, leg pain, and neurological damage. Although the severe form is rare today in many countries, suboptimal intake in older adults, due to restrictive diets, absorption problems, or the use of certain medications, is a real concern, and can contribute to generalized muscle weakness. To ensure adequate levels, it's important to include foods like whole grains, pork, legumes like beans and lentils, nuts and seeds in your diet. Understanding the individual role of each of these 7 vitamins is powerful. We've covered structure with vitamin D, protection with vitamin C and E, energy and nerves with the B complex and thiamine, and bone health with vitamin K. But the real secret isn't in focusing on one of them in isolation. The magic happens in synergy, in how they work together. How can we then orchestrate all these nutrients into a practical and safe plan? Knowing the function of each vitamin is like knowing each musician in an orchestra. But for the music to be harmonious, the conductor needs to ensure everyone plays in sync. In our bodies, this principle of synergy is fundamental. The vitamins we've discussed don't operate in a vacuum. They depend on each other. For example, vitamin D needs magnesium to be converted into its active form in the body. The B vitamins work together in hundreds of metabolic reactions. Vitamin C has the ability to regenerate vitamin E after it neutralizes a free radical, allowing it to act as an antioxidant again. This is why the food-first approach is always the most recommended. A colorful and varied plate, rich in vegetables, fruits, quality proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats will naturally provide these vitamins in balance, along with fiber, minerals, and phytonutrients that cannot be replicated in a pill. Imagine a day of eating, starting with eggs, vitamin D, K2, B12, and a slice of whole wheat bread, thiamine. For lunch, a salmon fillet, vitamin D, B6, B12, with a large salad of dark leafy greens, vitamin K1, and colorful bell peppers, vitamin C, dressed with olive oil. A handful of almonds, vitamin E, for an afternoon snack. And for dinner, a portion of chicken with broccoli, vitamin C, and lentils, thiamine. This menu already covers a large part of our needs. Supplementation can be a valuable tool, but it should be used intelligently and targeted. The golden rule is, test, don't guess. Before starting any supplement, it's crucial to talk to your doctor and request blood tests to check your levels, especially for vitamins like D and B12, which are common deficiencies. An excess of fat-soluble vitamins, D, E, K, can be toxic, and unnecessary supplementation can overload your body. The knowledge you've gained today is the tool for a much more productive and informed conversation with your healthcare professional, which is the most important step of all on your journey. We've reached the end of our detailed journey. Today, we've uncovered that the secret to strong legs in old age isn't a magic formula, but an intelligent strategy that combines science and action. In summary, we saw the fundamental role of vitamin D in bone health and muscle activation. We understood how vitamin C protects our cells and builds the essential collagen for strong tendons and ligaments. We explored how the B complex, with B12, B6, and thiamine, ensures nerve communication and the energy production that fuels every step we take. We recognized vitamin E as the guardian of cell membranes and vitamin K as the conductor that directs calcium to strengthen our bones, the foundation of all movement. The real secret, therefore, is a holistic approach. It's nourishing your body with a rich and varied diet that provides this symphony of nutrients combined with a consistent strength training program, always adapted to your individual capabilities. Information is power, but action guided by professionals is transformation. This video is intended to be an educational and informative starting point. It does not, in any way, substitute for the diagnosis, guidance, and monitoring of a doctor, nutritionist, or physical therapist. Before making any significant changes to your diet or starting any supplement, it is absolutely essential that you consult a qualified healthcare professional. They will be able to assess your individual needs, consider your pre-existing health conditions and medications in use, ensuring that any intervention is safe and effective for you. Did you enjoy this content? If it brought you clarity, share it with a friend or family member who could also benefit. And comment below, which of these vitamins and its function surprised you the most? Your journey to a more active and independent life begins with knowledge. The next step is conscious and well-guided action. Take care, and see you in the next video.